Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Ran When Parked, featuring myself, Go Dodger, Kirk J. Mac, and ZK, where if we don't stop doing the show, we're gonna get ourselves into a whole lot of trouble. Any news, Kurt, to start us out?
Some personal news there, Cone.
I don't like the way you introduced that.
You don't like personal news?
Not really.
Well, some people might be interested in a little bit of a cliffhanger we left them last week. The 1985 RX-7 GSL SE listing that I had under a mistake I'd make. And it had the LeBras, remember? The LeBras.
Oh, we all remember the LeBras.
Yep. Can never forget your first LeBras. But I was already in contact with the seller, and I had left it at... Oh, we record this on Sundays, and I'd left the emails at, I'm free on Monday. How about I stop by at 10? And waiting to hear back from him. Literally 4 minutes after we stopped recording, I received an email. Oh, sorry, sold it tonight. Bum, 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 bum.
Aww.
So there is no RX-7 GSL SE in my possession.
We were supposed to have Doritos.
Doritos, I know.
And triangles and apex seals flying out. Sadness.
In brown.
In brown.
Yeah, that one was brown on brown on brown with the multi-level EQ on the radio.
So good.
It's a special car.
Mm-hmm.
And it got away.
There was another one actually for sale. I thought, the GSL SEs, those are difficult to find with the fuel injected. No, this another one popped up, and I'm like, okay, just no.
You are so spoiled for choice out there. I want you to know. Like those cars don't exist down here, and if they do, they have like a Ford 5.0 in them.
I haven't seen in my area in a long time as a Brat. Those have gone the way of the Dodo here recently.
It feels like, because when I was over there for PAX West, there was like 3 for sale, and y'all stopped me from buying one and driving it back, and it's just like everyone just gave up. They were like, well, I guess this guy ain't buying a Brat.
Yeah. The market's dried up.
We're done.
Are they seasonal or something?
Is there a Brat season?
When you got the grill out in the summer, you put a Brat on the grill.
Brat season. Dorito season. Brat season. Dorito season.
Well, that would have been something, because out of the 3 of us, like I had chosen ZK to be the one to buy something from the show, and he's really been letting me down. Oh right, you technically did.
Yeah, I did put money forward,
but you didn't buy it, and you didn't show it on the show until after you didn't buy it.
It was between episodes.
Doesn't count. All right, well, with that bitter disappointment out of the way, I suppose.
Bitter disappointment.
What's the pun in bitter?
Bitter.
I see. I don't think Kurt's gotten it yet, but when he does, he's gonna laugh.
Bitter.
I
don't.
Bitter.
I know bidding.
On
bitter.
eBay.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we're looking for a third host.
Yes, no. Someone who gets jokes.
Ran when parked. I'm challenging myself. We're gonna do a random order this week. Well, the same random order for all of them. We're gonna start with ZK, move to me, and then go to Kurt. So ZK, please introduce your Ran when parked this week.
It's a 1956 Pontiac Chieftain Catalina Coupe 2-door hardtop.
That's a lot of names.
Yeah, I know. It's just a Chieftain. These are cool and interesting because they're basically like your Chevy Tri-5, except for no one likes them for some reason. But they look, to me, exactly the same.
I like these a lot too. There was one. There was a big classic car dealership. Every state has at least one of them that had probably the same exact thing, but it was quote unquote rat rotted out. It had side pipes and like flat black paint, and
Yeah, this
Coulda
one's
had it.
like 3 different colors, 4
Yeah,
if you
this
count
one-
the rust.
But I think they're like the original 2 tones of color. There just happens to be a lot of missing stuff.
Yeah, and it looks pretty complete.
Are you aware of how much that looks like a Cars character from the front?
It's got
it has
teeth
eyebrows.
Eyebrows and teeth. Like it's got the little divides for teeth. It's
It's got like the lips and the jaw. Yeah, it's really, really strange.
From like the side, it's just like, oh, it's a 50 whatever Chevy. And then you get to the front and you're like, oh, that's not the same. I didn't really read
But it's
the...
practically the same to me. I mean,
Mm.
yeah. So the one picture of the interior with the front bench seat that has nothing except for the springs.
Is this an original thing or is this like a vintage air thing?
I don't know. It looks original. I mean, at least it looks as bad as the rest of it does.
True. I'm just wondering when we're gonna get to the age of like when vintage air can be a vintage part of a car.
Yeah, I remember seeing, like, if you see just old Mustangs, they have, like, the air option just looks like a tacked-on box under the dash like that, so that might be...
It certainly looks very original.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the little vents there match
Yeah.
the clock kind of design, or whatever that thing is to the right of that center glove box. Like a blanked off vent. What is that? Is that a clock?
I don't. I guess it's
weird.
supposed to match the gauge over here. And yeah.
Might just be an emblem or something. Yeah, I don't know.
Nice,
bit of floor
see
rot.
through the floor.
Then the
always a
driver's
good
side is completely...
So, would you rather sit on this or the pine cones from last episode?
I don't feel like you can get tetanus from pine cones.
Yeah. But I've sat on bench seats like this before that didn't have any cloth on them, and it's surprisingly not as bad as you expect, unless you get one of the hog rings in you, and they'll make you holler. So $3,500.
Yeah,
This is
apparently
one of those
his
cases where I'm like,
grandfather- his grandfather parked it, or had given it to his mom in '63, and she parked it under a tree and left it ever since.
You really buy that story?
No, not for a second.
That truck in the background is now parked under the tree, and in 40 years it's going to be listed in the same condition.
It's a true Texas car, though.
What does that mean?
I have no idea, but that's a common thing in these listings.
It was built in Arlington, Texas, and stayed in North Texas until I bought it.
But is that a good thing?
Yeah, I don't know. Is that I think that's a value-added situation.
I guess in like, well, I would say North Texas, real dry, but then you have like that. So didn't, in the end of the day, maybe didn't help us too much, but the body's not gone.
No, actually, the body's, other than the floors, it actually looks okay. There's a ding on the door, but I mean, all the chrome's there, I guess.
Does the back of it not look real sad to you?
The front kind of looks a little sad, too.
Like, just the way these are, like, droopy, it's just like, oh, Pontiac.
I thought it was a Chevy. Oh.
I don't know what the hierarchy was back then. Like, was Pontiac a superior brand to Chevrolet, or... I don't know where the folds were for the different brands. And frankly,
don't
nobody
know that
ever did,
much.
and that's why they all went out of business. Does say ran when parked, huh?
Neat.
Yeah, apparently, when it was under the tree, I mean...
Yeah, parked it under the tree and left it.
Huh.
I mean, they didn't say why they parked it.
Right. Yeah, I give that one a rating of neat.
Yeah, $3,500. Yeah. A lot better than, these $20,000 plus Chevys.
Mm-hmm. Chevys. Puh. All right. Can I remember the order? That's the real question here.
Hope you wrote it down.
I did. I have my sponsored O'Reilly Auto Parts notepad. Not sponsored at all, by the way. Me! It's me! I have for us... Let me find the... Yeah. Basically, our cover car.
Yeah, it's back.
Essentially, this is the theme of the Ranwin Parked artwork. Because it was supposed to be like a Z car buried in the woods, and this looks like a Z car that was buried in the woods. And it's not great.
No.
No, does it have one of those sunroof?
It does
no,
not.
But it almost does.
The roof,
It's
the roof
getting
is
there.
clean. I think the thing that really drew me in was this picture, because it's so right for the image.
Yeah, because the front tire is debeaded, so they literally drug it out of the woods or whatever.
Yeah, I do wish there was a picture of it like still in the woods. But somebody thought they had found something here, and then what they found was bad. Because
those corners, or the whole sill looks rotted out.
The door's gone. This is a big project.
It's a donor
here.
car.
Oh.
No, it's a donor car.
It's got the flashlight, though. It's still good.
I see people restore them from this shape. I get a lot of questions about this air cleaner, because they're like, what's the thing holding the hood up? That's what it was. Because these are twin carb inline sixes, so it has this really long air cleaner that joins them both. Kind of hit or miss whether people like the carved ones or not. The fuel injection ones tend to be a little easier to own. But I guess the carved ones, you get a little bit more of that authentic, like, old carness.
Is that picture reversed, or is the flashlight actually on the passenger side on this one? I thought they were on the left-hand side.
That looks like it's the right way to me. In the passenger side.
I always thought they were on the other side. Huh.
Looks like there's a coil over there. Now, the other one might have been a 280.
Maybe that's what it was.
So all the fuel injection stuff probably moved things around. But yeah, I saw it, and it was just this picture was the one in the thumbnail, and I was just like, that's our car. It was funny. $1,900.
Yeah, that's not a bad price. I mean,
Price is firm, though.
Yeah. I say it's not a bad price, but that's going to take a lot of work. Like, it's going to be just as much as buying a running one to restore it.
Exactly. And I do want to kind of touch on that, because Kurt was recently talking about, like, you wished you had time or the space or whatever to start at this point, build a car. It really, I think, takes a special drive to do that. And
right, yeah.
You almost have to enjoy building them more than driving them.
Or a lot of money to pay a shop to do it.
Which I'm not there yet. I don't know that I ever will be. I think my body will deteriorate and make me unable to work on cars like that before I get to that point. So
can confirm.
And they'll put you on Craigslist on a trailer for $1,900.
Yep.
Lifted things when it was parked, but not anymore.
Ooh. Is that a Subaru Tribeca? Look at that big ugly headlight. That's got to be one, right? Speaking of that awesome Ranwin Parked cover art, if you like that logo and you've wanted a shirt, you can now get one. There is a link in the description to pick up your own Ranwin Parked merch. Or if you're just listening in, tpublic.com/user/ConeDodger240. So full disclosure, we're recording this on the day that Google died. So apologies for any random cuts. But now I think we're ready to move to Kurt J. Mac. What you got, Kurt?
You know exactly why I had to choose this ad. A 1964 Falcon Ranchero for only $500, by the way.
But do the cones come with it?
That's what I hope. I hope the cones, we got two styles of cones. You got your solid orange, a little bit sun faded, and then your orange with the reflective somewhat faded, weathered down.
Weathered down, yeah. Starting to become a little brittle.
This does have one of my favorite things that we see frequently is the brick behind the wheel.
Mm-hmm.
The brick, the 4x4 behind the wheel, whatever that is. Yeah.
Yeah.
This one, I am afraid to say, it says it runs. I might beg to differ based on the following pictures.
Wait a minute.
Wait, what?
Yeah, there is a definite before and after some sort of a fire-like event happened.
Oh my.
Yeah, that one's brown, and this one's not brown.
And this one is ash.
You think it burns?
There's,
What?
There's a lot of charring around the gas cap.
Yeah.
But that shouldn't, like, take the whole paint off the whole thing. I mean, it's still got
did you
tires.
watch?
Oh, they're different wheels.
No, this is
Different
different.
wheels.
This is a different car, right? Because look
Might
at
be
the
a
bottom of the
yeah,
door.
there's no. I don't know,
Yeah, that one's all rusted.
Not rusted.
And yeah, it's got the little vents at the
So
back of the
it might
bed.
run at some point in its past. Now,
No, those are two different cars.
now the other one, we don't know about that one.
Because look, that's got that
No,
little
well-
vent thing behind the gas tank too.
Oh yeah.
Is that the same year? I guess.
Could have fallen off. That could have been trim that came off. But yeah, like there's no tailgate
Right.
visible.
When did this show become CSI?
Yeah, we gotta figure this out.
Does the other one have the tow hitch? Does the brown one have the
No
tow hitch?
tow hitch.
So it's definitely different.
Evidence
'cause
is
that one have
mounting up.
It's a scam.
The other thing is,
And this
Freiberger
is the
had a Barracuda that burned to the ground in a California fire,
Mhm.
and things like the door handles, the headlight buckets, all of that stuff, it just becomes goo and drips off the car.
yeah, exactly. And this
So-
doesn't quite look like that.
This
It's just
just
like
looks
the paint's
like-
gone.
Been weathered and primered and sanded and primered and weathered.
Yeah. And this is let's call it the ash one, and it looks like there's a tailgate, or that might just be
I
some
think that's a
plywood
sign.
back there.
There's a sign back
Yeah, I think
there.
that's the for sale sign. Yeah.
Honestly, the least rotten thing in these pictures is that piece of plywood.
Yeah.
Comes with a bunch of suspension, I guess, though, and a couple
grand.
some shoes.
Couple shoes.
Oh, I didn't see the shoes. I can tell you, those cones are really expensive, too. Like the tall ones like that, that's like a $45 cone. Slightly more than my personal cost.
Out of $500, we could turn a profit here. Those wheels got to be worth something. So yeah. Anyway, I mean, rancheros come up, and as now actual like two-door Falcons and stuff are going up in price, the rancheros are far more and more appeasing. Not this one, obviously, but so yeah, those are always things that catch my eye, and this one caught my eye because of that's what cones are supposed to do: alert you to
Dangerous.
various obstacles and dangers approaching.
I wonder how bad this would be if you actually like washed it off
Not
and like gave it a good
terrible, but
Because I had a truck that had a lot of that like same hood gunk that I thought the paint was just gone or whatever, and we cleaned it off, and it's like, oh, it's actually got paint under here. It's just 15 years of scum.
I don't know that there's paint under there, but there's something under there.
You got your clothes hanger
Yep.
radio antenna.
Classic.
Authentic.
I don't see this. I don't like any kind of patina, for starters. But this, if somebody tried to pass this off as patina, then I'd be upset, because this is just people that have been like sanding and priming and like never actually finishing a project.
Yeah.
No, yeah, patina has to have some semblance or majority of actual paint color.
Like a base coat.
Yes.
Well,
Paint color, gray.
you're doing great, Cones. We appreciate your service.
Yes, you've done well.
Those tires are not going to
Yes.
fit this vehicle, by the way.
No, those are like trailer, or snow tires for a truck or something.
Yeah,
I bet that rear end in the back's not to a Ranchero either.
probably not. Yeah. And curious that they keep putting that they put this picture in there too. Like,
Yeah, because this brown one actually looks like, not that bad.
oh, it's bad. I can smell that.
Oh, yeah, it's bad. Yeah.
Huh.
I don't know.
Comes with spare grill and hood, though.
Is that? Yeah, it is. Huh. I've never really noticed how weird the rear arch is on those. It's like teardroppy.
Hmm.
Huh. Much different than a Falcon, I think. Maybe. I don't know. I should get out of here before I start saying more incorrect things. Gotta get out.
Let us know in the comments.
Yeah. Yes, I love being corrected from the internet. And now, from the mistakes of cars left to die, let's move on to mistakes we would make and probably kill us. And I think I have it memorized now. I'm not even gonna look at my sheet. I think we start with ZK. What?
One of the most boring, but also not cars I've, been aware of. It's a 2005 Honda Accord V6 Coupe. Manual. And these are actually one of, if you needed a daily, you can find these pretty cheap. And they're really solid and actually a lot of fun and really cool. Honda decided to make an Accord with 2 doors with a V6 and a manual. So they have 240 horsepower.
Nice.
And and they're Honda. They hold up and they're comfortable and they're really actually good cars. It's surprising. One of my old coworkers had one and I took it around the block and it was surprisingly quick and sporty and comfortable. Really weird.
Yeah, when I was kind of stuck on I really wanted coupes and things like that. Do you not like a VTEC there?
I just like to make sure that's pointed out.
The only other bigger than a what did I just say? The Chevy Cavalier.
Oh yeah, just that thing you own 2 of.
Yeah, that thing I own 2 of for more than a decade. There were no big coupes that weren't also sports car other than the Accord. I didn't like this. I think there was a later generation that got a little bit more sleek. I don't like this kind of rounded front and
it's so
rear trunk.
bulbous.
Yeah, bulbous. That's a good word. But yeah, I'm not any longer interested in them. But yeah, just the fact that there aren't many. Would you call this a mid-size, full-size coupe available?
Yeah, and they're really not that big. They're a big coupe, but they're not big cars, which is really cool about them. They're a step up from the Cavalier, basically.
Or a step up from a Civic Coupe.
Yeah. And because they, have the V6 and manual, some people call them, one of the last, modern muscle cars.
I knew you were going to say it.
cars.
I knew from the moment I saw this car, you were going to say the term, the last American muscle car.
I'm pretty sure there's an article from Jalopnik or somebody's calling the Accord the last American muscle car because these were actually built in America and they have all the same, mantra of the old muscle car of the small car with the big engine and, not necessarily the best thing, but they're fun and quick and you can live with them every day.
And there's one nice thing, and that is the fact that it is a Honda manual. And if you've never driven a Honda manual, they are just, they're sublime. They're very good.
Yeah, and this thing, I don't know how much they weigh. I mean, they're obviously heavy because it's based off the Accord, but it's not crazy, especially with the V6 up front.
That V6
And
that
this
they
one's
made
a little
for 20 years?
Yeah, this is if you needed a fun daily car, this is not a bad option.
I agree with all that. I don't know if it's a $5,000 car, at least not this one, but
to me it looks like it's in decent shape. It's just dirty. Like, there's nothing like it's not like wrecked or I don't see any big dings in it or anything. I mean, it's got a little over 100,000 miles on
it's
it,
not too
but
bad.
look, it revs to 7 grand, 7,000 RPM V6. It's got to sound pretty good.
Anytime I think of like a revving V6, all I hear is a 352Z.
But it's got VTEC.
It does have that VTEC, yo. 5W20. What a weird.
Yeah.
Wait. What a weird thing for me to point out.
What a weird thing to have a preference about.
Well, yeah, I'm weird.
Well, a preference, yes, but yes, just a.
Those seats look straight out of a TSX or RSX or something like that.
RSXs are also good cars.
Which I guess, that's probably what this reminds me most of. Is like a little bit bigger RSX.
Yeah.
Okay. So
No warning lights of any kind.
Are we gonna note the historic Wingadinga era car in the background?
Yeah. Covered in a blue tarp.
Yeah. So this could have been a two-parter. It could have been I'd make the mistake and a ran one part. You just gotta call him up and be like, so what's the deal with the car in the background? I need some pictures for, something.
For research.
Yeah. All right, well, that one, that's a surprise. I look forward to hearing about it, because you bought it, right?
Yeah.
Exasperated sigh.
Alrighty, well, let's see what kind of mistakes I certainly can't afford to make. I would make this week. It's a Saab. I don't do this just to spite ZK, who has desperately been trying to sell a Saab.
I wouldn't say trying, but yes.
Desperately been talking about it. But these are kind of what I consider to be the last neat Saab, and it is a 2009-3 Viggen, and it's in pretty darn good shape overall. It's just, I mean,
especially since it has 182,000 miles on it.
Yeah. After this, to me, Saab lost kind of their Saabness. This is deep into like the General Motors era already, but it's still got that like strangely long nose. It had the engine that was kind of tilted forward, but it was 2.3 in this era turbo. They made really good power, and from everything I've seen about them, they're like, a good chassis and just a nice fun car that has zero value to anybody at the moment. All of the Saabs, as soon as Saab went out of business, were just like pew, in value. And that's kind of a shame because they're neat cars. Even the General Motor ones.
Saabs are very strange.
And they smell like crayons.
They smell like crayons?
Crayons.
That's a VW thing.
No, it's a Saab thing. My brother had a 04, I believe, 9.3. And
maybe that's a GM Saab thing.
Still to this day, you open the door and it's just like a whole pack of Crayolas just got opened.
Interesting.
The reason is, rather than fiberglass insulation, they coat the panels in wax. That is their sound dampening. So on a hot summer day in Florida, you got 64 colors of Crayola in there. But yeah, I would put this in my category of autocross anything, but like rallycross anything. Especially with that roof rack, it looks like
all-wheel drive.
They're front-wheel drive, but I don't need to go fast.
Also got a Honda Insight right there for you to.
Those things have a cult following, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
I never knew they were manual. I never knew there was manual ones of those.
Yep.
It's pretty interesting. I don't think I'd own one, but interesting.
A curiosity, if you will.
Yeah, we'll say
Also,
that.
the van and the camper.
Yeah, these people have taste. It's
Mhm.
strange taste, but taste. It's just like a whole mix of our community: a van, a Saab, and a hybrid.
This could be my driveway.
It could be. Is it? We've
My
already,
Saab's none of that nice.
we've already nearly saw your place twice now, I think. So yeah, this is one of those ones of nothing I was looking for, but came across it and was like, if I had $3,000, I'd make that mistake.
I wish there were some interior shots here because
Yeah, he had a lot of pictures
on
of the
subs
outside,
are always
but that's kind of it.
they're always kind of a little weird but really cool at the same time.
All right. Well, I can tell you, I did not make this mistake. I'm sorry, but I would have. I've made too many mistakes prior to this, and you gotta kind of like give yourself a mistake buffer.
Okay, 3 bad cars and then maybe 1 okay one.
Yeah, someday I'm gonna get that one okay one. I don't know that I've got one yet. Kurt Jamak.
I've got a car for you, Cone. How about a 2003
Wait.
Mercedes-Benz? Go ahead.
This is not make Cone's mistake. This is I would make that mistake.
Well, I would also make this mistake.
Okay.
Hold on. It's a C230 two-door coupe. Kind of hatchback thing. I'm not sure what they're specifically classifying them as. These, first of all, are very cheap right now. They're very hard to find. Obviously, also they came with a 6-speed, but the majority of them obviously were automatics. But I've always liked these. Kind of. You mentioned last week, ZK, that you liked the Volvo C30, which I also really liked as a car. But those are really kind of not holding their value, but decent ones are still up in like the 9 or 10 grand area.
Yeah, and they went 32 for this.
Yeah, $3,200 something. It's a compressor turbocharged. Is it turbocharged?
It's a supercharged 1.8
Supercharged.
liter.
That's the word. Yeah, they don't make a lot of power. I think 189 horsepower.
Something.
Not that I went into detailed research about this. I did. But yeah, I like the body style. It's a 2-door, again, getting back to the 2-door hatch.
Yeah.
They're just neat.
What a strange
Some of these
picture.
pictures. Yeah, the next one is even stranger. You think that's strange?
Okay.
Here's 3 buttons and a stop sign for you. But yeah, they're rear-wheel drive. It's one of those things that I don't see many, if any. And I also, I guess I don't know. I don't run in like sports car circles, but I don't know why it doesn't seem like they've been adopted in the kind of performance.
I think they didn't make very many of them, for one thing.
I also think that this era of Mercedes with the round headlights didn't immediately age well. Like, there were those cars that looked fine when they were made, but 5 years after, they looked super old. So it's taken them a long time to kind of like come back around to, oh yeah, I remember those.
Mm-hmm. I would own one, and if it wasn't that this one was being sold at one of those dealerships that you wonder, like, all their cars are less than $5,000, how do they make money?
Well, if I go back here,
might have actually called. Yeah, I don't know. There's so many of these sort of dealerships. They're like old houses that they just like put a lot in front of, and now it's a dealership.
Right.
It's like they get all their, like, this one had a history report I looked through, and it like came from an auction, and it was like a fleet vehicle before, and it's like, you never really know. They just, get it from auction from a repo place or something, and make it drive and try to sell it and make their money on really bad loans to, no credit, no credit needed.
Yeah.
So,
if they're willing to have one of these on their lot, they are really into the mistakes. It's a
Hey, I got one of those in
500.
the driveway.
Like I said, really into mistakes.
I just noticed something. There's 2 Mercedes logos on the front.
Sure is. Proud.
How will you know? Well, actually, no. The grill goes up with the hood, I believe. So I don't.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, how would you know when the hood's up? But you wouldn't.
And then
No, but
one of
these-
their pictures was like, by the way, it's a Mercedes.
So, I was looked into these because, well, I don't know. They're one of the few German cars that I actually like. But like apparently when they came out, they were marketed as like sporty cars, but they were also like the cheapest Mercedes you could get at the time. So everything about them is like cheap in Mercedes. There was nothing super special about them, and all the reviews thought they were terrible. But I mean, I think that at the end of the day, they were okay cars. They were just trying to like market them as sports cars.
Yeah, or
When-
for the entry level market, because everybody who was buying Mercedes were dying of old age.
Mhm.
Same, that's
Yeah.
kind of like Volvo did the same thing with the C30. That was going to be their like youth entry level, but like they were still 40 grand new, so nobody could afford them.
Yeah, and a lot of people bought these things because they were the cheapest Mercedes. They're like, I got a Mercedes.
Hmm.
But I don't know. You know, it's cool.
Keep your eye out. A future mistake.
Can I pull the supercharger off and put it on something?
You got $3,200? Sure, go ahead.
I just recently saw a Mark II Supra that had a Mercedes compressor supercharger mounted to the factory Mark II Supra engine. So,
Hmm.
yeah. There you go. Something to do with it when that German engineering explodes. I can say that. I own one. Oh, man. That's, again, not a car I would have, like, pinned you for. Like, that's not a car I would have been like, ooh, that's a Kurt car right there. It was keeping me guessing.
Just, yeah, gotta keep it colorful, like a box of Crayolas.
So you picked a silver car?
I think that's the only color they made them in.
Yeah.
Silver and black.
Yeah. And every Mercedes ever. Yeah. Yeah. I know what I have. Not enough money to make enough mistakes. No, the section of cars for owners that really, really are proud of what they're selling. And we start once again with ZK. Ah, yes.
A 1970 VW Bradley GT. Do you know what that is?
Unfortunately.
Kit car.
Yeah, it's a Beetle kit car.
It's not even like a kit car. It is the kit car.
Yeah. And this one is a little weird.
It's missing a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
There's a EV. Does that mean it's electric?
Class without the gas.
I could have read the actual bumper sticker with words on it.
Wait. Powered
Powered by.
by American electrons. Does America own electrons now?
No, they're American. They were made in America.
Coal-fired and soot-filled.
In your German kit car.
Yeah, with, by the way, like 99 Beetle hubcap wheels on them. Oh, what?
Yeah, this thing's...
That's a golf cart
golf
battery.
cart.
Yeah, no, it was... The description says it was converted to an electric vehicle at some point, which has
but
then been ripped out, and now it's completely missing everything
hubcaps.
other than the fiberglass shell, basically, and only some of the
They left-
fiberglass shell. This chassis is really rusty.
Oh my.
I was about to say, what was it, like 1,300? I'm like, I don't know that this qualifies for. I know what I have, but no. Now yes,
Well, they do have the doors.
This makes-
That's interesting. I was curious
Yeah,
if they
that
had the
looked
doors.
like they were never installed. or I don't know. It's really weird, and then it's got like this leatherish dash that's kind of like pot riveted together, very poorly.
And yeah, that shifter is like half of a baseball softball that's been stitched back together.
I know all about these floors and exactly what's happened here. So they rusted out and somebody's fiberglassed it over the rust. Not, I would say 75 feet from me right now, there is a 74 Super Beetle that looks very similar.
Well, if you have a donor beetle, you just get this and throw it all together, right?
Yeah. Yep.
This is one of those like that first picture where it's blurry and has the
lens flare.
Yeah,
lens flare. Like it's like, oh man, that's actually kind of, it's weird and kind of ugly, but it looks in good shape. And then you go looking at every other single picture and how horrible this is.
Huh. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, they know what they have. I just don't know if they know that what they have is something that you shouldn't have.
But who converts one of these to electric and then takes out the electric motor and all the other associated components to it?
And I have to imagine not a great electric motor if it just had like a couple golf cart batteries in it.
Yeah, it looks like six of them probably.
That's
well, I guess that other thing's another tray for batteries, so
No,
who knows how
maybe.
many.
But
it's using the stock transmission, and all the floor pans are gone. Yeah,
I see a lot of these Bradley GTs, including there's a very famous one in Florida that's been for sale for a long time. I've never included it on the show because it's been featured on Jalopnik. It's been featured on all. It's been featured everywhere. But it's like that bass boat purple that fades to green, paint. And they started with like $100,000 and have just been slowly backing down on it. But yeah,
this has tags from 2014.
Yeah.
So this was registered and inspected 5 years ago? It's gone to this?
Or they just
It
drove
looks
it
like
that.
this picture. It looks like a RC car, that just has the plastic because like it has no wheel wells or anything. It just looks like an RC car where you just with a plastic shell over it.
Honestly, an accurate description of what these were.
True, yeah.
And who designed those headlight bucket
man,
things?
it's so bad.
Those are just
so bad.
They're just sad.
Yeah. Yep.
Aerodynamic until you look at the headlight holes.
Huh. Go windows up.
$1,200.
Go for it. You can know what you have. All right, me. What do I know that I have? Very much so on theme. Oh, this is better than a coincidence, really. This is a 1999 Lamborghini Countach kit car.
Is this also a Volkswagen Beetle?
This is no. This is I'm gonna let you figure out what this actually is, and you'll.
It looks very tiny, like compared to that mower in the background.
Right.
It's got the same wheelbase as the mower.
Well, if it's for kit cars, if it's not a Beetle, then it's a Fiero.
You nailed it. It's a Fiero. So let me start with the highlights. Pretty convincing, like 16th scale. like it just looks like a Countach that's been shrunk down a little. And if you were 7, you could probably be convinced. But if you're 9, you know that this is a kit car. The mirrors.
To be fair, this is one of the better. Countach kit cars I've seen. Like, at least the front end looks okay, but yeah, like mirrors are weird. The whole middle sections where it falls apart, where it's like squashed and shrunken.
You know where it really falls apart? Well, A, the interior, that's still a Fiero. B, $20,000.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, here's my toy car.
Yes.
Inside my toy car.
Except that this toy car on the dash is more real than this.
Yeah. If you go back to the interior shot,
Mm-hmm.
you can hang your bath towels
Yes,
on the door handle.
all these things. That is literally out of a shower to open the doors. And somebody stuck like an old iPad there, really modernize it. Again, this is one of those things that's just like a novelty item that I don't know where this ever came from. Like, I don't know at what point, because I'm sure it wasn't cheap to build these kit cars then.
No.
When was it better than, like, I don't know, a Fiero?
Powered by a 99 Buick Regal 3.8 supercharged engine?
Yeah, because the Fieros came with the Buick 3.8 in them, so you could change to the supercharged 3.8 pretty easily.
It's probably pretty fun. I like the Firebird in the background.
Yeah. Obviously, they realized what they really wanted was a Pontiac. I have a hard time understanding.
Yeah, that 20,000.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Like, I could see this being like a $5,000 fun toy just to, have a laugh.
Yeah.
But 20? And it's got like all the Countach badges and everything. Like, it's trying really hard to be a Lamborghini.
Floor mats. Thanks for coming in. Enjoy your inferno.
Oh god, that's got to be like double down on the fires, isn't it?
No, yeah, definitely. Because now it's like 90% fiberglass too.
You got the Lamborghini fires. You got the
I
Fiero
wonder
fires.
how much Fiero is under there.
I mean,
Like, is there?
'Cause
Do you
that's a
think there's
new
a
greenhouse.
Fiero under it? Like the original body's still there, or do they like cut them up?
I mean, you can't really see inside the wheel wells, but
I guess there's
there can't be
picture.
much left of the
No.
original car.
I wish
At
there
least
was
the
like an engine
outside
bay
body.
shot. However, who knows how that even opens? Oh man, that's one that's been around for decades and it's confused me for that long. I never
I
understood
do like
where the appeal was for doing a kit car like that.
the red towel over the license plate.
It's a little classier than the thumb, I guess. All right, they will keep trying though.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody out there is like, they just don't understand.
Nope.
Kurt, J-Mac.
Well, I wish I got the kit car memo. But instead, you could have a 1971 Datsun 1200 coupe for the low price of $17,000.
I'm sorry, what?
$17,500.
That
They know
those are
what they have.
Those are Canadian dollars, though.
that
So it's
True.
like-
still has to be
So that's-
more than 10 times what this car was new.
Yes, I think that's like I did the math. It's like 13 something US dollars.
That's still way too much.
Yeah, I mean, granted, it looks very clean, very
see
nice,
rust
very
already.
stock. You see rust already.
Yep.
Whatever. But no, that would be like asking $13,000 for the
For
Corolla.
the Corolla. Yeah, I was going to say,
I was gonna
this
say-
seems like pretty much the exact same condition as the Corolla.
And like at the time, they were basically competitors or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
So they're in the same class. This actually looks more basic interior wise.
This was, this was probably the most basic transportation you could buy for the year. That's the smallest motor, too. It's the A12, I think?
Well, yeah, it was 1200.
Yeah, that's...
Made 50 something horsepower.
You think the Corolla's hard to drive on the highway. Try getting this thing up to 55. $17,000.
17,500 Canadian is $12,960 in the United States.
Is this the same year that Beef had? Or has? Possibly? We don't know.
Does he still have?
I have
Who
no
knows?
idea.
He's made some mistakes recently.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I don't know. Maybe he thinks the air cleaner is worth that much.
Right.
Since he has the air cleaner here, and those are so hard to find.
Huh. Yeah, this one very much so qualifies for the title.
I mean, it looks pretty complete and original and in decent shape.
Yeah, it's up there.
13,
it's up there with like the Corolla.
There's nothing special about it.
No.
Like, this isn't like a rare model or like the cool one or anything. It's just...
Well, let me run this by you. You could get a 240 or a 280Z in really nice shape for 10 grand. How do you justify getting this over that?
Right.
I don't know. But maybe we just don't know.
I do like those vents behind the door. The random,
In the body.
probably useless vent.
Yeah, the glued-on vents.
See, we're really used to seeing them on like the C-pillar in the back, like how the Corolla has, how the 510 has. A bunch of cars in the era had that. I guess they were just like, well, they don't really fit there. Let's slap them on the side. I think they were functional. I'm pretty sure the ones on the Corolla are functional.
Yeah, I have no idea
yeah,
what
the
they
one
do.
on the left side isn't. The one on the right side vents into the trunk.
Is that one of those, so when you close the trunk, like there's not the air pocket inside? Is that like what they're for?
I don't know. I was thinking for Kurt's car, it's probably because the gas tank's under the back seat and they're trying to keep the fumes out.
Yeah, that could be that, yeah.
A lot of these got cut up to be drag racing cars, so they are pretty hard to find. It was one of those cases of like, this is the lightest, smallest chassis that could fit a 350 Chevy in it, so they would, tub it out and put a straight axle in. Drag race car. They were also like, you could probably end at 175 for a long time. Like, you couldn't get rid of these cars for a long part of their history. Well,
I never.
No, I would never.
No, don't. Anybody, please.
However, there's a 1977 Corolla. Oh, man. All right. Well, moving right along here. Let's get our weekly wisdom from Les Cubes.
If you can't be good, be weird. Worked for Saab. Oh, wait.
Well, that's fitting.
Yeah, why are you guys planning these things beforehand? I feel
No.
out of the loop on all the theme episodes we're doing.
No, that's
No, this is just coincidence.
Cubes. I mean, there's a lot of them that are just listed as like expletive cone, and I don't know where those are gonna go, but those are for the future. Is Saab really the weirdest car company though? I don't feel like they were the weirdest.
Well, okay. Other than maybe Citroen, they're probably one of the weirdest cars you could have gotten in the United States.
Okay, in the United States, probably so. Yeah.
I always like to think of Saab, at least classic Saab, like pre-GM. Like, someone from the UK called some guy in Sweden, thick accents on either side, barely speak English. And they described a car to the Swedes, and then they made Saab. So 4 cylinders, right? Okay. And a V?
Yeah.
The engine drives the wheels, but we're going to put it backwards, and a chain driving a transmission under it for the front wheels. And it needs an e-brake, but we're going to put it on the front.
Yeah, I mean,
There's a
so
lot of
there's
weird things
weird.
about Saabs. There's a lot of weird. There's also like the night mode, which turns off But like at night when you're driving, it turns off like 3/4 of the lights behind the gauge, so you only
That's
have like
because they
the
were
speed.
born from jets.
Yeah, you gotta preserve your night vision.
Yep. I actually thought it was kind of a
Um,
neat feature. I always used it in my brother's car when we were driving at night. Not really because I think it was useful, just because it was cool.
What other weird
Saab.
things? The key is in the middle between the two seats in the front,
Yep.
and you can't take the key out unless you put it in reverse.
Oh,
I did not know that.
that is news to me.
Yeah. I said the engine's backwards, so the belts are against the firewall. What else is weird?
I don't know
I
if
think
it's the
even later ones
weirdness
were-
that killed Saab, though. I think it was the inability to be weird anymore that killed Saab.
Yes. Because a lot of that weird is like, so one of the things with the classic 900, which I have, is nearly every single year that it ran from basically the mid to late 70s to the mid 90s, every year or two, they would change one or two parts on the car.
Mm-hmm.
So they were always changing. There's like no interchange. Like Saabs are expensive because they're unique, which makes them weird. I don't know how to explain it, but like if you like every single year is different.
Are
I
there
don't
any
think I don't think
manufacturers out there who are equal in weirdness, or have they all gone the way of Saab?
Yeah, I don't know
I
if
don't
there's
think-
room in modern cars for weird, unfortunately. Honestly, the booming electric car industry, like as that's developing, that's probably the best chance for weird right now because it's not as defined. Whereas regular cars are extremely defined now. People know what they expect.
Yeah, and because of emissions and all of these requirements these days, manufacturer can't make an engine unless they can quantify it in 3 or 4 different models. So like the Saab 2-liter turbo was in the 900, and that was basically it. Which you can't really do these days. You can't have a bespoke engine. You can have like a slightly modified one, but not just for a model. Or you can't do anything only for a particular model, like we see with the Supra/Z4 now.
Mm-hmm.
Neither of those cars would exist if they didn't, have both of them, basically.
And why the Viper had to go away.
Exactly.
I said it in the way that sounded like somebody took it out back and shot it, but
Yeah, that was very. I shed a tear.
it really
Of
felt
place
that way to me.
Sarah
Okay.
McLachlan.
Oh, well, with that sadness out of the way, thanks, Cubes. Let's hope that the best ads have some cheering up. ZK, cheer us up with your best ad.
Oh, I hope you're ready.
I feel better already, actually.
So, to just take this in, it's a 1964 amphibicar.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Is that how you say it? Amphibicar?
I'm assuming because it's
no
amphibious
B.
car. Amphibicar.
There's no car. It's, just
Amphicar.
it's amphicar.
Amphicar.
Listen, I'm from the South.
You just randomly put B's in words?
Yes. And
Okay.
N's and T's.
Whatever,
and-
ZBK.
No, but it's I mean, I'm sure someone has seen an old ad or something like this before. But it's an amphibious car and a completely restored Concours quality one, apparently.
I can't see this car without seeing the My Classic Car mustache guy. Gosh, what's his name?
Oh, yeah, with the beret. And...
Yep. What is his name?
Well, go look at some of these other pictures.
Okay.
Because it only gets better.
It's got a boat radar on it.
Yep, it's got a fish radar on it.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
There's a
dear.
school of amphibicars.
Nice.
Amphibicars.
Here they are at the landing at Normandy.
I don't remember that bit of history. Oh, cool.
Yeah,
that
I
is
included this
cool.
because it's a really cool little transport,
Yeah.
clamshell and everything.
Made to look like
Does
a camper.
Mm-hmm.
does the 79 grand also get the transport?
Better. A lot of comments on this picture that I just need to keep in my head. Boy, those look like 3D printed.
Yeah, they
they're
do.
The
Dual propellers.
pillars.
Dual license plates as well. You got your vehicle and your boat.
Nice, nice. Probably completely unnecessary, but they were just like, hey, look what we can do. Huh. Boy, that is. I mean, that's
frunk.
pristine.
Yeah, and
Is that the Datsun engine?
Yeah, it looks a lot like this.
notice the hood, or this is the trunk. I guess the engine's in the rear, which kind of makes sense, and it opens sideways.
Yeah. Huh. I guess this is the air separator to keep keep the engine from
Yeah.
ingesting water.
Nice side profile, which looks like a boat.
It does look like a boat.
Yeah, the thing I'm sure of is that they neither drive well nor boat well.
Yeah.
But it's just a curiosity. It's
Yep.
neat.
A lot of the times when you try to take the best of two things, all you make is the worst of both things.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure this is one of those cases. Yeah, I guess I
mean,
never
it's
considered the
car-
fact they'd be rear-engined. Oh.
Oh yeah, a nice little cutaway drawing.
A car that swims. Oh yeah, there's the engine in the back. Huh. Plenty of
Take all the
pictures.
kids.
Jeez.
Well, I mean, if you're trying to sell something for this manufactured in West Germany.
Oh. Huh. For Amphicar Corp of America. Interesting.
Yeah, and like
Is Craigslist really the place to sell something like this?
I don't, I don't think so.
I don't
But at
know.
the At the same time, like it's $80,000, which is a little much. But at the same time, this is probably worth it because it's one of the oddities.
850 miles.
No.
Which means, yeah, they don't want to drive it much because it's probably horrific on the roads.
Do the boating miles count? Does it have like nautical miles for that?
I believe those are knots.
Sorry. Oh man,
The fish radar thing is
that's
my
That's
favorite
good.
part.
I'd like to see somebody just sitting in the water fishing out of one. Huh. There's your school. I feel better.
It's so cute.
All right. Does this make you feel better, everybody? It's
Patina.
Cone's favorite thing. This is a 2007 Dodge Caliber Sport Wagon 4-door. Also known as the most forgettable vehicle Dodge has ever made. Patina.
Patina.
Exterior color other.
I mean,
How did they get the rust effect on the plastic parts?
I guess it's a wrap. I guess. Or it's paintbrush. Like that kind of artwork. Should I use the word? Did
you
I
mean
just
airbrush?
ruin artwork? But yeah, it's
There's a Mercedes of the same design with
Oh,
a rusted
God.
out,
I think that's fuzzy.
or it's fuzzy, or it's like a felt car.
I think it's felt. So obviously they're into this kind of thing here, this picture. So this gives us a little bit more insight because you can see the door sill. And like there's a not hard line where
Yeah, so it's
It goes
Painted,
from
I guess.
Hmm?
So it's painted then?
I think it's painted like this. Yeah, the whole car is painted in patina.
Well, not just like patina, but like
Rust.
old ship, like beach ship rust, like with the streaks and everything. Looks like a chunk of steel that left out in the rain.
With things
It's
like this, I always try to find like the value in the effort. And the effort is it's very like good looking, like you said, like rusty ship look. But the canvas could not be any more wrong. I don't get it.
Yeah, I rented one of these on vacation once, and they're pretty horrible. Like, forget blind spots. You can see nothing behind yourself, and just very... The Pontiac Aztec of the 2000s. Oh, wait.
Well, yeah. It looks like they even painted like on the window right there. Like they just masked part of the window.
Oh, yeah, those windows were definitely just masked off.
Yep. And then it's got like,
Yeah.
your advanced auto parts aftermarket wheels on it too, which
Yeah.
completely clashes with the old look.
Part of me is trying to find like a positive, like it looks like they went through a lot of effort and achieved what they were going for, but at the same time, I'm like, I hate it.
I hate it. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's something.
I don't. Other than the artistic effort involved, I see no redeeming qualities in this thing.
Was it a
Okay,
manual?
maybe it's a manual.
It's a 3-pedal car. That's, there you go.
It's got the weird kind of on the dash
In the console.
stick location
Yep.
in the console. Yeah, I guess that's...
Those they look really weird, and you look at them and you're like, oh, that's gonna be super weird to drive, but it's actually pretty normal. Like you adapt to it pretty quickly. The Fiat's is kind of up there, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's
Yep. All right. Well, can I get one more patina, please?
Patina.
But do you want it?
No, I don't want it. I don't want it.
All right. I think that puts us on to the last of the best ads from Kerchimek.
I will tell you what I do want, and I know we've featured a Subaru SVX before, but those ones were in pretty poor shape. But this one, I think, highlights what a best ad could and should be. Many, many pictures. A 96 Subaru SVX LSI, the highest trim available at the time, mind you, for listed at $4,200. A little over 200,000 miles. But one owner since 2006.
It's a long time.
yeah.
That's a long time to own a car.
And it says he
it's an
put
SVX.
7,000 miles a year on it, which is,
Mhm.
that's not letting it sit there and rot.
Right. And just an overall good ad. All these pictures, very well taken pictures. They included a link to the Carfax, which is something really only you might find at a dealer and stuff like that.
Mhm. Oh, these windows. I can't figure out if the windows make me like it more or less. Every time I see them, I'm like, those windows. And I don't know if that reaction is like, those windows, or like, those windows.
How many drive-throughs do you go through?
Right, yeah. I guess.
Yeah, that would cause some spilled cappuccinos at the old Starbucks drive-through, maybe.
All right, we get it. Pacific Northwest.
Yes,
It's got a duck.
it's got a duck.
It's
It's in decent shape.
decent. I mean, there's
Yeah.
a lot of pictures.
There's a lot of pictures.
Okay.
Yeah, I know that just makes you sad, doesn't
Yeah.
it?
When a
they were
frickin' Dodge Caliber can be a manual. Was that what it was? The
But all the
Caliber? I've already
SVXs were autos.
It's probably best you've forgotten.
Probably. But otherwise, yes, they are. Boy, they are like quasi luxurious looking inside.
It's got wood dash.
Yeah.
I'm
The
sure it's
plastic.
very real wood.
Plastic swirl wood dash. Yeah, and again, having like watched all the regular cars and Doug DeMuro doing these, they didn't know what segment to put these in, did they? Speaking of weird cars, was it a sports car? Was it a luxury
Right.
car? It's more of a GT car, like a touring car?
Yeah, because like we talked about
Jeez.
for the other SVX, is that this was kind of during the whole big Japanese boom, and Subaru made this when like Mitsubishi had the 3000 GT. There was the GTRs and all the other high-end cars, and they made the Grand Tour car.
Everything's solved, everybody.
Yep, it's got a manual.
No problems here.
I think what that means is read the manual as to what this button does, because that button, despite many different explanations, like, oh, you can shift through the 1, 2, 3 drive, you could do that anyway if you really wanted to. That pushing that in basically means from a stop you'll start in second for like when it's snowy and you don't want to.
Oh, like
Spin the
manual second gear lock, which I thought that's what just
Yes.
2 was for in most cars. But I guess because there's 2, 3, you'd have to bump it. I don't
I
know.
don't know. On most cars, if there's a button on that just enables and disables overdrive.
Some Saturns had a button that was just like I don't remember what it was called. You would probably know. You're a Saturn person, CK.
Yeah, I didn't drive any automatics.
No? Oh, okay. There was a button on them that I don't know if it said like sport or something like that, and all it would do is hang that gear for as long as it could until it shifted to the next one. And a lot of times in those cars you needed that to get them up to highway speed.
Yeah. Looks
Okay,
comfy.
with the pictures.
There's so many pictures. You can never have too many pictures.
Go back to
coming.
that rear shot or rear interior. Look at the rear window interior. How it has that like jagged cliff.
Well, that's where the window opens, right?
Yeah, the rear window opens
It's
there.
still a
What other
weird.
coupe do you have rear window openability?
The Corvair.
What coupe from the era of rollover protection?
Fair.
This is like bring a trailer levels of
It
documentation.
really is, but not like bring a trailer levels of cleanliness.
True. Yeah, we got some hair there. And
Yeah.
fuzz.
Are they a cat person or?
Macintosh.
Macintosh. Now this was not stock. Apparently, you did some research on this, ZK. Macintosh is like
Yeah, they're like some
was a
high-end audio company that
Oh.
Yeah,
I figured
it's
it was something Apple related.
no, it has nothing to do with Apple. Because it's not Macintosh, it's Micintosh, but it's probably pronounced the same.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Huh.
But they do, like think like record players and stand-up speakers and all that. That's like their thing.
Hmm.
But apparently in the 90s they did some Subaru thing and made some head units for them.
Weird.
And I think that's out of a Legacy. I forget what we determined.
Sorry, there was a
And we
person,
did-
this person in the picture, so I had to.
Oh, there's a person. There's a person.
They have no head.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no head.
Moonroof? No, sorry, sunroof, actually. I've been corrected on that.
Mm.
Moonroofs were glass, sunroofs were solid. Doesn't make any sense, but it's true.
Indeed.
Works.
It does look cool open though, because it's the kind that
Yeah.
lifts up and slides back.
I wish the one on the Supra still worked.
There's a person.
Oh, there's a person.
person
Oh, jeez. That's startling.
Hey, Ma, get in the car and just look straight.
Yeah.
That's very odd.
It's needed for scale.
I guess this panel here is plastic to go with the
I
mirror.
guess.
Yeah, that
because they faded.
panel in the mirror is plastic and they're faded.
Huh.
There's a person. There's a person. I'll tell you why there's a person there. Because I made this mistake. It fits in my garage, Conan ZK. You at all didn't know about this beforehand.
No, I am
did.
truly shocked and amazed right now.
Oh,
and a great
my.
actor. Hey, you
You
moved
bought
the
an
garage around.
SVX.
I moved my garage around. Oh, yeah, I did. I
Yeah.
moved the table to the back.
Yeah.
And
Maybe to make room for, I don't know, a larger vehicle.
a wide and low Subaru SVX that is now mine. Because I make mistakes. But no, yeah, I liked this best ad so much that I called up the guy who was nearby, took a test drive, did some haggling, sat on it for a few nights,
Like a
and then
chicken?
went back and brought it home like a chicken. Yep, waiting for this old egg to hatch.
Oh, man.
So yeah, I now am the owner of a 96 SVX LSI. It's the highest trim model, don't you know?
I did not know. I did not know they had trim models. I figured it was just like
No,
SVX or SVX. I'm disappointed you don't have the
Pretty
back
much.
window down.
oh yeah, I know. I didn't think to do that.
Really, I
Yeah, it.
just want to ride in the back and put my head out that window for some reason.
Are you secretly a dog?
Yeah.
You're secretly a dog. So yeah, drives great. Like everything works. All the lights, all the blinkers, all the. He took care of it. The thing, like, you kind of, why are you selling it, sort of thing. The reason he sold it is because he bought a 1994 SVX. So here's somebody who isn't just like letting them rot or using them. He's actually very interested in these cars. But I do believe the person in the other picture that I didn't realize was there was making him get rid of
One of them.
some of his collection.
Some of them.
Yeah. So yeah,
Hmm.
picked it up, drove it home. It's very comfortable, the most comfortable car I own, and the heaviest car I own too. I believe it's even 600 pounds heavier than my Crosstrek.
Yeah. Yep,
It's got
I believe it.
twice
Not
the
light.
horsepower, though?
Yeah, well, not twice.
Well-
The Crosstrek has like 148, and this has what 230.
Yeah.
So the most powerful car you've ever owned, too.
The most powerful car I've ever owned, and it's automatic. Cone, your favorite.
Yeah.
So why are you wearing a glove in this picture?
Listen, you drive it home, drive it around for a couple days, and then you realize that sure, you bought it for less than $4,000. The radiator has a slight crack. So that's why it's in my garage and the Corolla is not. Apparently a very common thing in looking this up. The radiators, they have plastic top and bottom tanks to them, and they like to crack. And they're kind of hard to find. So if anybody out there, just asking, keep an eye on your for parts cars or your old pick and pulls. Come across an SVX. Any SVX will do. They all use the same radiator. With a good radiator, get in touch because yeah, they don't make them anymore,
No.
obviously, and they are very specific to the SVX. That's kind of, speaking of unique cars, no other model in the Subaru line at the time really shared many, if any, parts, other than maybe the Macintosh stereo with the SVX.
Yeah, aren't the engines even, like, unique?
Yeah, this engine was only ever in this car.
Yeah, because even, like,
Mhm.
are they the Outbacks and stuff? Those are different
Yeah.
6-cylinder engines. Because I think these are EJ based?
Right?
Whatever
it was
that
supposed to
means.
be. Like this was an engine made for this car to make it like, you know, the Subaru Halo car. Which they may have fallen a little short of, but that ends up with a situation where because it didn't share parts with anything, they don't reproduce a lot of parts for it because there's no demand for those parts.
Yeah, because there can't be many of
Versus-
these running around.
No, unless you're in the Pacific Northwest.
Unless you're in my garage.
Well, it's not really running around.
Yeah, true. It runs and it parks. And it's still going to run. I have a temporary fix waiting in the wings.
Yeah.
Some JB weld should hopefully hold me over until I or a very helpful viewer or listener could help me track down a new radiator. And yes, I know that there are people making aftermarket ones, but there's wait lists and they're like $600. And also maybe an old WRX radiator can be welded and finagled in there, but I'm trying to. This is not supposed to be my project car. Yet they all end up being project
They do.
cars, I suppose, in the end. But yeah, I'm happy. I was having some nostalgic, like, I probably first heard of this car in like Gran Turismo, like most people,
Mm-hmm.
and now to have been driving around in it was pretty cool, and it's comfortable. I was looking for a summer cruiser, I suppose, highway cruiser more so than the Corolla can be.
Do you
And
feel
we'll see
like
how much
this
fun we
could
can have
be
with it.
your car? Like, could this just be your daily driver?
It could be, because I don't have to daily drive anywhere.
Right.
I don't commute or anything like that. So yeah, it could be. I think, like, to depend on it, the parts lack of availability and things like that would make that a tough choice.
Well, if it's
Maybe.
down, just take the Corolla.
True, yeah, I have options. I do have options. But no, I haven't heave-hoed the Corolla or the Crosstrek yet. So, one car garage, 3 cars.
I was gonna say, what you don't have is room for another car in this garage.
Very true.
Honestly, I'm a little surprised that this fit. I've never
Yeah,
personally been, like, I've seen them at like car shows, but I've never been in or around one. I don't know how big they actually are.
It's I think it's a bit longer than the Crosstrek, but yeah, there's room. There's still a folding table back there behind it,
Oh, okay.
and like a foot in front of the door there.
They're big coupes, but they're not big cars.
Yeah.
And they're nice and low slung and everything.
One other viewer call out. I need people to convince Kurt that he doesn't want to replace the middle grill headlight thing with a grill. He wants to leave the headlight thing.
But it doesn't even light up.
I know, but it's just one of those things that's just like, it's so SVX. Like, when you see that middle headlight grill, you're just like, SVX.
Wraparound headlights and taillights.
Yep. But that's just me. And it's
Well,
not mine. I did not make this mistake, so.
Congratulations and my condolences.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. Yes, condolences are always in order.
I feel exactly equal about this as I did the RX-7, believe it or not.
Yeah, the RX-7 would probably have not. Well, they rev high, so I don't know how it would have done on like the highways and things. But no, yeah, I'm really a man of varied tastes. I have no particular. The compass needle dashes around to many different destinations. RX-7, Ford Falcon, Subaru SVX. Sure, why not? Let's go.
You're the buyer Subaru was always looking for.
Yep, that's me.
Well, it happened, everybody. It only took, what,
Mhm.
5 episodes?
Yeah,
It
like
almost only took 4.
Yes.
2.5 months. And it was Kurt.
It was Kurt.
was the first one.
Almost twice.
Yeah, almost twice.
Almost got him.
Ugh. Oh, man. Well, I look forward to your Florida road trip with it.
The Florida road trip.
Yeah.
I was hoping you'd come up here. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll have to get that radiator replaced first.
This show gonna need to do a whole lot better. All right, everybody. Well, we made you sit through like an hour and a half to get to that, so we'll get out of here and we'll let Kurt go back to his cheery self, and we will see you next time on Random Parked.
Patina.
It kind of has patina.